Hi guys, and welcome to another video by Traveling Vegan and Frodo. So today we're going to talk about salmon. And I like this topic because not many people actually know that salmon is not a health food. So for example, me, I grew up in Russia, so we didn't really have much salmon per se there, but we did get taught that fish was healthy for us. When I moved to New Zealand, salmon was like the thing, and everyone was just like, nice and pink salmon is really healthy, and blah blah blah, it has good fats, it's good for your brain, yappity yappity yappity, all of that. So all that is false. And today I'd like to talk about 5 reasons why you should stop eating salmon and why it's not a health food. So I guess number 1 that we talk about is the health benefits of salmon. So the thing is, all the studies that show that salmon is really healthy, or show health benefits of salmon, is because those studies are comparing the salmon nutritional content, I guess, and the fat content and all that, and effect it has on people after they consume salmon. All these studies are comparing salmon consumption to meat consumption, specifically red meat consumption. And we all know that red meat is really bad for us. It's alkali, it's acidic, so then it acidifies our blood, so then our body needs to take the calcium out of our bones to neutralize it, and it's just a big slippery slope from down there. So the thing is, salmon is half fat. So if you're wanting to be healthy, or if you're trying to be healthy or striving towards a healthy lifestyle, eating salmon means half of that piece of fish is going to be fat. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to be eating something like that. So here you go. A lot of people talk about omega-3 in salmon. So unfortunately, research finds fish-based omega-3 inhibit the action of insulin, thereby increasing blood sugar levels and aggravating diabetes. Another study shows fish-derived omega-3 greatly increases the volume of colon cancer mitosis, when compared to a low-fat diet. So if you're worried about your bone density, the fish highly acidic flesh seeds calcium loss and contributes to osteoporosis and kidney stones. So it is not a health food. It is not healthy for us. So we don't need to be eating it. It is, more than 50% fat. The omega-3s just block up our system. They inhibit the insulin, and our blood sugar levels increase, and that's what causes diabetes. See, a lot of people think that sugar causes diabetes. No, it's the fat that you eat. Our body is produced to pull apart and use that sugar. Our bodies know what to do with it. It's the fat that causes the issue, because also it takes much longer for body to process the fat. And I'm not saying, everyone needs to be perfect and have 0 fats, because it's hard. It's like pretty much impossible. But if you're concerned about diabetes or, high blood sugar levels, fat is definitely not a healthy thing to consume. So this is an interesting thing that I never knew, but I found out a little while ago, is that we'll think about salmon, right? And if I ask you, what is a healthy salmon? What does a healthy salmon look like? In the past, as a lot of people would now still, I used to think that really pinkish reddish salmon is like it's so healthy and it's the right thing to eat and it's so good for you. Well, what I have found out after doing some research is that the feed that farmers feed their salmon has colorant in it. Like, it has red dye in it. And the thing is, around the world, there are companies that produce feed for fish, or for salmon specifically. As a farmer, you can go, and you know how you can choose like the color of your walls, like what you want your walls to be? They have an exact same like palette of different colors of salmon flesh, and under each one is the feed that you would buy. So like in different parts of the world, they think slightly reddish or slightly pinkish or slightly orangish color of salmon is the right one, the healthy one. So then the farmer can actually choose which color of flesh of that animal they want. Like, it's ridiculous. So like the salmon is not actually healthy. It's not actually vibrant. It's just been fed the colorant. And by looking at the color, because like we don't know how it was raised when we go to supermarket, we're just like kind of, oh, okay, well, that's pink, it must be healthy, because you don't even really want to sniff the fish, right? Because it smells disgusting, to see if it's healthy or not. So I thought that was ridiculous. I used to like go off the color all the time, but like it's just a colorant, and again, you're eating the colorant. It's not particularly a poison, but it's not good for you. It's not healthy. It's pretty cray-cray. I tell you that things we come up with for efficient farming and to make more money, and oh, crazy stuff. So often people charge a lot more money for wild salmon versus farmed salmon, because technically it's healthier or whatever, but in reality is 40%. There's a little, yeah, 40%. They did the study, and it found that 40% of American-bought wild salmon was actually the escaped farm salmon. So the farm salmon fishes, they escape, and then they get caught as wild, but in reality it's not. And especially when the animals are farmed, like the fishes are farmed, they're like literally kind of one on top of the other. They don't get that big room, they don't get proper health and food, and they all get diseases and things like that, and it's not a health food. It's not. Okay, another thing to consider when you're purchasing salmon, or any fish in general, is that the salmon for people means less for the animals. So you gotta understand the world, the ocean, the mountains, the rivers, the lakes, the, forest. It's all like, almost like a biosphere. I don't know if I say that right, but like it's like a one whole thing. So if you're taking out something, like a fish, right, that we want to eat, humans want to eat, some humans, that means something, some predator that would eat that fish naturally now doesn't have food. So then that predator would die out. So for example, if we take out all that salmon, the bears start dying out, because bears eat fish. And okay, like maybe they eat a different kind of fish, but you know what I mean? Like, so by taking out, there's a lot of competition for food in the wild, and when humans eat salmon, we make it harder for other species to eat. Salmon is a keystone species, that is, it has a disproportionately large importance on its environment compared to the abundance. In regions where predators rely on salmon for their own survival, decreases in salmon population cause predator population to decline. So that's another thing to think about. It's just, yeah, like I said before, bears, orcas, and eagles die. They're dying off because we're stealing all of their wild salmon, because we're eating their food, and we're eating the food that's not naturally our food. It's not healthy for us. And see, that's another thing. When we farm salmon in the wild, and getting any fish really in the wild, it's not that we're just catching that one particular fish. We're catching, like when the fishermen drop their nets and pull whatever they get. They pull whatever they get, and sometimes they get sea lions, seals, dolphins, tuna, bass, albatrosses, penguins, and other species of animals trapped in the nets. It depends where they're pulling them from, really. and they're not going to let them out. And the thing is, a lot of those animals die and get injured simply because these fishermen are trying to fish for salmon. And then we just get declined in all these different animals simply because humans decided that eating salmon is healthy. But it's not really healthy, because the health and nutrition of salmon is not compared to plant-based diet, to plant-based products, even avocados. Like, okay, fine, you want something with high fat, compare salmon to avocado. There's like no cholesterol in avocado. And in salmon there's ton, even though it's less than in red meat, but there's still lots. So there's definitely some factors to think about. Let's just round it up quickly. So the health benefits of salmon is just a fish story. It's not true. It's not a health food. It's not. Like, stop trying to make it health food. When salmon is farmed, it gets fed dye, like a feed stock with dye, red dye, to have a particular color of the flesh. That's pretty disgusting and not natural. And that does not mean in salmon that salmon is not healthy. It's not naturally that color, the fake color. A lot of wild salmon escapes. A lot of farmed salmon escapes into wild, and then it gets purchased as the wild salmon, but it's not really wild, so it's even less benefits to human body from eating it. By taking out salmon, we're putting pressure on all, and we're killing off other populations of predators that usually eat that salmon, like bears, orcas, and eagles, and they're dying off because we're stealing their food. And farming only makes overfishing worse, and we're collecting all these different other species of marine life, wildlife, when we fish for food that's not even naturally ours. So please don't buy salmon. Please don't go for salmon. There are so many other healthy, actually healthy options out there. And stop lying to yourself, pretending like salmon is a health food. Thanks for watching For the Planet and the Animals. Bye.